All of you who came forward and got tested yesterday, our testing numbers have gone back up to over 3,000 in a day, and the number of cases, new cases, is still relatively low at just 11. This is a very positive outcome because we know the more people with symptoms or people who think they might have the virus who get tested, the better we can get a handle of the spread and control the spread. So thank you to all of you who took up our message, especially in those specific suburbs which we identified. But also, can I stress, if you happen to work in any industry where you're in contact with a lot of people, especially if you're looking after vulnerable people, please do not hesitate to come forward and get tested, even if you don't live in those suburbs which we've identified. So obviously, if you live in a suburb we've identified and you think you might have symptoms or you're in direct contact with someone or were who now has the virus, please come forward and get tested. But across the state, if you're someone who works with vulnerable people or someone who's been in direct contact with someone or feels they've got symptoms, do not hesitate to come forward and get tested. And again, in one day, we saw the testing rates go up from just over 1,000 to over 3,000 again. We want to get that back up to 4,000. We're nearly there. And thank you to everybody for coming forward. And you can have confidence now with the new systems we have in place that it can take you just a few hours if through a public system, if you get tested and to get the result, to give you that sense of assurance. So thank you. It's a good result because we want people to come forward and get tested if you're concerned about having the virus. I also wanted to stress today how important it is for us to keep going with the economy. We know that for many families who've lost a job, or perhaps everybody in the household who's working has lost a job, it's such a terrible situation, and all levels of government are working hard to support all of you. But please know the New South Wales government is already doing our part as well, not only to keep jobs but to add to the number of jobs that are created in New South Wales. And already we've employed 1,000 extra people in Service New South Wales. I also want to stress that every time we build a project, no matter how big or no matter how small, no matter where it is in New South Wales, we're creating jobs and we're keeping people working. And so I say to all the businesses who are operating now, keep going hard. And I also say to all of you who are involved in any projects the New South Wales government is undertaking, your job is safe. You will keep working because we will support you in those efforts. And that's why I'm very pleased to have with me today the Deputy Premier, who will be talking specifically about some programs we have in regional New South Wales, which will bring forward infrastructure projects and make sure we keep our regional communities going as well with jobs, because it is so important for us, whilst we deal with this health crisis and keeping people safe, that we also protect jobs and create jobs where we can to keep the economy going, to make sure we keep any activity we can going, and that is extremely important. But again, my biggest message today is to say thank you for the people who've come forward to get tested. With more people tested, but the number of cases stable and going down is a positive sign. But it also means we have work to do in clamping down on that community-to-community transmission, which is what our health experts are keeping a very close watch on. Thank you, everybody. I'll now hand over to Dr. Chant.
Thank you, Premier. So as the Premier indicated, we have 11 new cases reported and 3,200 people have been tested as of 8 p.m. on the 15th of April. There have been 26 deaths in New South Wales, with no deaths in the past 24 hours. And there are currently 207 people being treated by New South Wales Health, including 26 patients in ICU, 19 of whom are ventilated. In relation to the Anglicare Newmarch House Aged Care Facility in Caddons, there's been a total of 15 cases, 5 new cases identified. All residents have tested positive, and so that currently stands at 6 staff and 9 residents have now been detected with COVID-19. Thank you very much.
Well, good morning. In terms of the hotel repatriation operation, that continues. Another 550 Australians will be allowed out and sent home today, which it's a good outcome. About half of that will continue to arrive at the airport today, so we still are seeing reasonable numbers of Australians flying back into Sydney International Airport and going into the 14-day quarantine. In terms of the Ruby Princess, we continue to work with Carnival in relation to what is a suitable date for the Ruby Princess to leave Port Kembla. And again, they are refuelling and re-provisioning over the next couple of days. But of course, that final health assessment will be key in relation to Border Force and New South Wales Police seeking any orders. Overnight there was around 15 additional tickets written for non-isolation. Most of those were individuals, again, who had multiple warnings. One was a couple that had driven hundreds and hundreds of kilometres from Victoria into New South Wales to allegedly recycle cans. So, again, still viewing all those tickets personally to ensure that New South Wales Police is using the health orders appropriately. So, from mine, that is the essential update from the police perspective. Thank you.
Mick Fuller there, and we'll keep an eye on that press conference in Sydney.